Hey, what's up, Boxers? This is Zach Rizet with Buildbox. In this video, I'm going to try something new out. I'm going to make a game that is going to be similar to the Make a Game Like Voodoo video series, but I'm actually going to give you a link to download this game and download this BB doc in the description of the video. So once I'm done with this, you can download it yourself and you can make some tweaks and you can even throw it on the App Store or the Play Store. So I hope you enjoy this video. I'm going to speed up certain parts of this video, but I'm also going to show you how to make a few things as well. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so I started off with the default template, which is pretty much a blank slate. So what I want to do for this video is I want to use paths and path points instead. So I'm going to delete this cube and the ground, and I'm going to just get rid of them completely right now. I'm going to just completely start fresh with brand new stuff, and then we'll get started with some paths and some path points. And just in case you haven't seen the video that we made showing you how to use paths and path points, I'll go ahead and include the link to that video in the description of the video as well. Awesome, let's go ahead and get started. So first what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit this little plus sign here and I'm going to add a level path to this scene. And then I'm probably going to stretch out this scene a little bit and lengthen it. So I'm going to grab the end node here and I'm going to just slide it on down and we're going to add a little length to it. Okay, perfect. And then what I'll do is I'll select the start scene and then I'm going to hit D on my keyboard and that's going to duplicate the scene so that I have more scenes to work with, and I'll go ahead and update these scenes pretty soon. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Command S on my keyboard and I'm just going to save this game to my desktop, and I'll go ahead and name it Free 3D Game. I'm going to give this to all of you once we're done with this video. So I'll go ahead and save that for right now, and then we're moving along. So I definitely want to add a texture to this path, but I'm realizing now that I think this path is going to be a little thin. So I kind of want to get rid of this first scene. I'm going to go ahead and select it and then just hit delete on my keyboard and I'll delete that current section. And then what I want to do is I want to grab both of these nodes, both the start and the end. So I'm going to hold Command or Control if you're using a Windows PC. I'm going to hit Command on my keyboard, hold both of them down, so I'm selecting both the start and the end node, and then I'm going to use the scale tool to lengthen this out or widen this out a little bit. So something like this is a little bit more in my wheelhouse, something a little bit with a little bit more room. So I'll go ahead and I'll get rid of this. I'll stop selecting the start and the end node, and then I'll go ahead and select my start scene, and now I'll duplicate it. So now I've got a scene or a path here that I can play around with. So let's go ahead and add a texture to this path as well. So I'll go ahead and select my start scene, I'll select my level path, and I'm going to just choose this soft blue texture that I've got, and I'll throw that into both the start scene and the first scene. So I'll select my level path here and throw this texture in here as well, and then now we can start making adjustments. Alright, so now we've pretty much got the foundation set up. Let's go to the asset library. Let's grab a few things from the asset library to throw into this game and make this a little cooler. So I'm definitely going to want some points. So I'm going to go ahead and select that. And then I'm also, let's see here, this is a hoop that gives you points when you go through it. You know what? I might end up just using this instead of using the points. So I'll go ahead and I'll exit out of this point here, delete this. I'm going to just use this hoop because it's got the point already thrown in there. Okay, perfect. And so the next thing I want to do is I definitely want to have a character, obviously. So I'm going to probably grab a triangle, and I'm going to use the triangle as my character. So I'm going to double click on this triangle real fast. I'm going to add that to my objects library, and let's go ahead and just start with this. I think this is a good starting point. So just having a character and some hoops to jump through. Okay, so let's go ahead and set up this character and the hoops and make sure that everything's working properly. So let me also move up my sun real fast because you could see that the shading wasn't just right. So let's go ahead, let's go into our start scene. I'm going to first change the color of this triangle, and I guess I can drag it out here into my scene first. And I'll take my triangle, I'll bring it over here into my characters menu, and I'll have this be my main character. So I'm going to change the name from actor to main character. Okay, cool. And then let's go ahead, let's zoom in here. I want to change it so that it is a different color. So let's go ahead and I'll select my main character here, and I will change the main character to something that is a little bit more visible. So something like, let's do like a yellow character, kind of a gold triangle, almost looks like a Triforce or something like that. Perfect. Let's do not super bright yellow, just like kind of a more of a goldish yellow. And we'll go with that. Okay, perfect. So that looks good. Okay, so now we need to give some movement to our character, and we need to make sure that the camera is also following the character as well. So let's go ahead and double click onto our main character and go into our main character's node map. And let's first add some movement. So let's go ahead and add some path move in here. And you know what? Actually, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get rid of path move, and what I really want is touch path, because I actually want to be able to drag this character left and right. And so this one has the sensitivity, and that's the sensitivity of how much you have to move your finger on the screen to make the character move left and right. And then I think a speed of 20 is alright, but I might go a little bit slower just to start off with. Normally I go with like 10 or something. And then let's go ahead and make the physics type, the object type, kinematic, so that we can touch it and control it. And then I also want to add in a torus, or add in a ring here, or hoop. But we'll go ahead and we'll start off with this. Let's check our camera and make sure that the position follow is on the character. And I also want to make sure that the character is okay. Perfect. I think we're good now. So let's go ahead and just preview this and see what this looks like. Okay, so it looks like it's starting but then stopping. And then so let me go ahead and exit out of this, and it also looks like it's not rotating the right way. So I took a second to figure this out, and I realized that I needed to also change the rotation on my 3D model as well. And then the reason why it's not moving down the path is because when we select our path here, we also need to make sure that we're not updating the path. See, this is what I had selected here, and if you have this selected, you'll see that there's really no movement, it just stops. But if I take this off, I take off update path, and then I play around with it, you can see now I've got my character moving side to side, and this is what I want. This is a little bit better. So this is cool. So I'm going to exit out of this preview real fast, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the rotation here, because I've already changed the rotation on the 3D model, so there's no reason for me to have it changed here as well. But one thing I am going to do is I'm probably going to scale this down a little bit. So I'm going to go into my main character, go into my 3D model, and I'm going to scale it down to probably like 0.7 on the X, Y, and Z axis. So that looks good. Okay, perfect. So now let's go ahead and let's check this, this path a little bit more. So one thing I noticed right away is when we're previewing this, you see how the camera moves with the character left and right, and that could be nice for some games, but that's not really what I want for this game. So the way you can fix that is you want to make the follow force in the X direction 0. So you got to think that this is the X direction, so this is moving side to side, left and right, and we don't want it to move left or right. So we change the follow force to 0. Also, when we add some more path points and stuff, the rotation follow is going to be kind of nice. We're going to want to rotate around and follow the character down the path. So I'm going to keep the rotation follow on as well. So let's go ahead and let's see what we've got now. So we've got this character moving side to side, and the character is kind of falling out of the camera view. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the camera back. So let's go ahead and I'll move this up just a little bit. I'll move this back a little bit, zoom out, maybe move it up, and then let's take a look at what we've got now. Okay, cool. So that's a little bit more reasonable. I might even move it back a little bit more, and let's see. Okay, cool. Actually, that's a little bit too much, so I went a little crazy there. Okay, perfect. So now we're good to go, and let's go ahead and start adding in some hoops and stuff. You know what? I'm actually going to speed up the rest of this video so this video doesn't get too long. I'm going to speed up and do some rapid development here so you can follow along and try to watch what I do, but I'm going to build out some scenes and some levels, and then I'm going to give this BB dock to you for free. So I hope you enjoy this. Alright, so this is what we ended up with, and it really didn't take me too much time at all. I'll definitely include the link to download this BB doc in the description below, and with a few tweaks you can totally make this game completely unique. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and keep on boxing.